about the increasing unemployment ratio.
All these funds that we are talking about, where are the practical projects and the practical transformation in the education sector as it stands today? Because if not for what I've heard now today, some of us felt that one of the problems of education in Nigeria is underfunding.
Besides funding and other limitations confronting the Nigerian education sector, the federal government says vocational training and skills acquisition is a major focus now in addressing the education and unemployment gap.
Well, joining me now to shed more light on the core issues of concern at the University of Abuja is Professor James Adelabu. Well, we're with the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor James Adelabu. You're welcome to the program.
Thanks, sir.
Well, let's take a look at the issues bordering on non-accreditation, infrastructure decay, staff welfare that has been in the news for quite a while right now. How are you resolving this?
Thank you very much. Let's start with the issue of the accreditation. You will recall, to be precise, sometimes on the 4th of April, 2012, after the visit of the need assessment team to the campus, the Honorable Minister of Education announced the suspension of the 4 new programs which I inherited, which were started as far back as 2005, and which I inherited definitely 4 years after, because I took over the administration of the university exactly 1st July 2009. Now, with those programs, after the announcement, you will recall that the students went on the demonstration, and that led us to the ministry, together with them demonstrating at the Ministry of Education. Finally, it resulted into getting to the round table. And after that, a committee was set up, a task force, which was chaired by the NUC Executive Secretary, of which a team was now raised up. And after that, it resulted into having a pre-accreditation team coming. So when that pre-accreditation team came, it's just like doing it as if it's just normal accreditation. The result of it now pointed out what we really had. But meanwhile, Agric was discovered.
What did they point out?
I'll get to that. The Agric was discovered to have had interim accreditation. So it was pulled out of the 4. Now left with 3 of them. That's engineering, medicine, and then veterinary medicine. So the pre-accreditation team came. And after examining the whole program as re-accreditation, they came up with what was lacking in those programs. But Agric 2 was also put there, because at least it was partial accreditation. We needed full accreditation. So Agric lacked farm. Veterinary medicine lacked mainly teaching hospital. The medical, that human medicine, lacked the laboratory complex, basically. Whilst engineering, which was a little bit different from the other 3 programs, because engineering, by the time I took over, was only discovered to have failed resource verification right from the onset. And what meant, or what was supposed to have been done by that time, was to have stopped the engineering program. But the former administration continued it. So engineering now, unlike the other 3 programs, struggling for accreditation, had to struggle for resource verification. By that resource verification, we are supposed to get approval by the NUC to commence the running of the program. So for all those, after that April, we now set up our own internal team to work. And as I'm talking now, by the end of that December, the 6-month period, we already had farm, which was already now producing poultry. They have their animal, that's for the Agric. Then the veterinary teaching hospital. The hospital was completed through internally direct labor from IGR, that's internally generated revenue. And by November, December, the Veterinary Council of Nigeria came on their visit because they were stagnated. And by that, we could not go to the clinical. So after the assessment, the visit, they gave us the nod that the students should continue for clinical. And there, we are now, or we were to write them when we are ready for the final accreditation. The final accreditation for veterinary medicine should come when the students are taking their final exam.
When will that be?
They are coming for it. We have already written to them by the grace of God in August. Now, for the human medicine, they came also in December and gave that's the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. And the report, the things lacking were more anchored on the completion of the laboratory complex, which had been in place or being put in place by that time. And like I'm right now talking, the complex has been completed. They have already occupied it, and we are now to write for to the Medical and Dental Council to come for visitation. They've already done the accreditation. It's just now to have visitation, which they will come. And with that one, hopefully, I'm expecting June, because just yesterday we started the issue of interview for those staff which are lacking in the various places.
And the engineering students have
for the engineering students, they have been farmed out. And
all of them?
All of them. Reason being that for the final year, that's 500 level, are really not farmed out as such. In the sense that for residency requirement, there's no university a student will stay less than 3 years before you can get the degree of that university. We will recall that we had 3 sets that already got to 500 level. They were supposed to have graduated. So at that meeting with the NUC, it was agreed that they go to MENA to go and do 1 year intensive work. Okay. They now come back to come and get our degree, because there's no university that will take them for 1 year, within 1 year, and get their degree. So that one will get to University of Abuja, because where we have gotten to, as by that time, we already got the approval by the NUC after during November visit that they came. We have gotten the approval for the 4 engineering program. So that's why they now have the opportunity of coming back to come and get our degree. But for the 300 level and 400 level, what we have on ground cannot take them to that level if we want them to come back to be with us. So those 300 level and 400 level have been farmed to various universities. Right. Yola, ATBU, ABU, Akure, and then Ilorin.
Okay. Now, the recently inaugurated Audits Panel, what exactly are they going to be doing that will be different from the visitation panel we had earlier set up by the federal government?
I expect this one will really bring something good, because the special presidential visitation panel, the staff audit was not truly done. And
why do you say so?
It was not done.
Why do you say so?
It's really done. Because I went for it. Okay. Right?
You went for
the audit.
Okay.
That's during that time. The audit should inspect all your credentials and every other thing.
And they did not.
It was never done. And moreover, you have the same people you said you are investigating mixing with the panelists.
How do you mean mixing? What do you mean by that?
If you have the union people going to the people where they are standing with the panelists to now identify who is who, it's natural.
So you're saying everything they did was not true at all?
To the best of my knowledge, because I complain. To the best of my knowledge, okay. I know what I gave them. I made a book, summarized everything which I did, but that was not done. And the other aspect, I was only hearing it. I've not seen it. That's why I've not always liked to discuss, because something I don't have a copy of, or just what is inside.